For years, Sister Wives fans believed that after Christine, Janelle, and Meri left Kody Brown, his relationship with Robyn Brown would finally become the peaceful, drama-free marriage he had always claimed he wanted. Many viewers even predicted that once the Plural family was gone, Kody and Robyn would finally live the happy life they had been waiting for. But that isn't the story that's unfolding. Instead of celebrating a fresh start, Kody has made one of his most revealing admissions yet. During recent conversations featured around Sister Wives Season 20, he acknowledged that his marriage with Robyn has been far from easy. Rather than pretending everything is perfect, Kody admitted that the two of them have been working through serious emotional challenges and are actively trying to protect their relationship. That confession immediately caught the attention of longtime viewers. After years of hearing Kody defend his relationship with Robyn against criticism, many fans were surprised to hear him openly admit that their marriage has also been affected by everything the Brown family has experienced over the past several years. And once people heard those words, one big question started spreading across social media. If Kody and Robyn are struggling too, what really happened behind closed doors? Today, we're breaking down everything Kody revealed, why this confession matters, how Robyn responded, and why fans believe this could be one of the biggest turning points in the Brown family's story. Before we dive in, if you enjoy Sister Wives updates, behind-the-scenes discussions, and the latest Brown family news, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new update. Now, let's get into it. For years, viewers watched Kody insist that the biggest problem inside the Brown family wasn't his relationship with Robyn. Instead, he often argued that communication had broken down with his other wives. Christine eventually ended their spiritual marriage. Janelle decided to move on. Meri also confirmed that her relationship with Kody was over. By the time all three relationships had ended, many viewers assumed that Kody and Robyn would finally have the monogamous marriage they seemed to prefer. But reality appears to have been much more complicated. Losing 3 long-term relationships wasn't something that simply disappeared overnight. It changed the entire structure of the Brown family. Children were affected, family traditions disappeared, relationships between siblings became more complicated. Public criticism increased. And throughout all of this, Kody and Robyn remained under an intense spotlight. Every episode, every interview, every social media discussion, every public appearance, fans continued asking the same question: are Kody and Robyn really happy? For a long time, neither of them gave a detailed answer. Instead, they often focused on explaining how difficult the family breakup had been. But recently, Kody finally spoke more openly about what those years have done to his own marriage. Rather than claiming everything was perfect, he admitted that he and Robyn have had to fight for their relationship. That single statement sparked countless discussions online. Some fans viewed it as an honest moment of self-reflection. Others argued that it confirmed what viewers had suspected all along, that the end of the Plural marriage did not automatically solve every problem. Many people had assumed that once the other marriages ended, Kody and Robyn would experience less stress. Instead, the emotional fallout from the family breakup appears to have followed them into their own relationship. Think about everything that happened over the last few years. Christine's departure became one of the biggest moments in the history of Sister Wives. Her decision inspired thousands of conversations among fans. Then Janelle's separation created another emotional chapter. Soon after, Meri officially confirmed that her relationship with Kody had ended as well. One after another, relationships that had lasted decades came to an end. Whether viewers supported Kody or disagreed with him, very few people would argue that those events were emotionally easy. Even Robyn acknowledged that watching the family fall apart was incredibly painful. She repeatedly said that her original dream had been to grow old in one large Plural family. Instead, that dream slowly disappeared. According to Robyn, that loss deeply affected both her and Kody. She explained that the emotional weight of everything that happened didn't simply vanish after filming stopped. Instead, those emotions followed them into everyday life. That's something many viewers may not have expected. People often assume that once a relationship ends, life immediately becomes easier, but emotional recovery rarely works that way. Family changes can create stress that lasts for years. And in Kody's case, those changes happened in front of millions of viewers. Every disagreement became public. Every emotional conversation was analyzed online. Every interview generated new headlines. That kind of pressure would challenge almost any relationship. So when Kody admitted that he and Robyn were still working on their marriage, many fans felt it was one of his most honest comments in recent years. However, his confession also raised another important question. If Robyn was always described as Kody's soulmate, why would their marriage suddenly require so much work? As Kody's confession spread across the Sister Wives fan community, attention quickly shifted to one person, Robyn Brown. For years, many viewers believed Robyn was the one wife Kody truly prioritized. Whether people agreed with that perception or not, it became one of the biggest debates surrounding the series. So when Kody admitted that even their marriage had been under strain, fans naturally wanted to hear Robyn's side of the story. And according to Robyn, the biggest change wasn't just the family falling apart. It was what that loss did to Kody emotionally. Robyn has explained that after the Brown family relationships ended, Kody became weighed down by disappointment, frustration, and grief. She described him as someone carrying the emotional burden of losing the family structure he had spent decades trying to build. That doesn't mean everyone agrees with Kody's perspective. Many viewers point out that Christine, Janelle, and Meri each shared their own reasons for leaving, and those stories painted a very different picture of what life inside the family had become. Their experiences remain an important part of the overall conversation. Still, from Robyn's point of view, she says she watched her husband struggle with the emotional consequences of those breakups. According to Robyn, the stress didn't stay outside their home, it came home with them. She suggested that difficult emotions, constant public attention, and years of conflict created challenges that no marriage could completely escape. For many fans, this was surprising. After all, once the plural marriages ended, many expected Kody and Robyn to finally enjoy the quiet life they had often talked about. Instead, they found themselves facing an entirely different reality. Without the larger family around them, there were no longer multiple relationships dividing Kody's attention. Now, every emotion, every disappointment, and every difficult conversation existed inside one marriage, and that adjustment appears to have been harder than many expected. Adding to that pressure was the intense public scrutiny. Every new episode sparked thousands of comments online. Every interview was analyzed. Every facial expression became the subject of debate. Some fans sympathized with Robyn, believing she had also lost the family she wanted. Others argued that many of the problems viewers witnessed over the years were connected to favoritism and unequal treatment, making it difficult for them to feel sorry for the couple. No matter which side viewers supported, one thing became clear: people were paying close attention. Then another topic added fuel to the conversation. Kody revealed that he had been approached about the idea of bringing another wife into the family. The comment immediately caught fans off guard. After everything that had happened, very few people expected the possibility of plural marriage to even be mentioned again. But Kody explained that someone had expressed interest in joining the family. According to what was discussed on the show, nothing serious moved forward, and there was no indication that a new plural marriage was actually happening. Still, the conversation alone created headlines. Fans immediately wondered how Robyn would react. Her response was calm but clear. Robyn made it known that she wasn't interested in making emotional decisions based on attraction or impulse. She emphasized that if such a life-changing decision were ever considered, it would need to come from genuine spiritual conviction and careful thought, not simply because someone showed interest. For many viewers, that answer reflected how different life had become. Years earlier, the Brown family had openly embraced plural marriage as part of their identity. Now, after years of heartbreak, separations, and emotional pain, even discussing the idea seemed completely different. The conversation also reminded fans of how much the family had changed. At one point, the Browns were focused on expanding and strengthening their family. Today, the focus is on healing from everything that has happened, and that healing process hasn't been simple. Meanwhile, social media only intensified the speculation. Some viewers claimed Kody's confession proved his relationship with Robyn wasn't as perfect as it once appeared. Others believed his honesty showed personal growth and a willingness to admit that marriage requires effort, even after becoming a monogamous couple. The debates continued across fan pages, podcasts, and discussion forums. Was this a sign that Kody had finally become more self-aware? Or was it simply another chapter in a relationship that has always faced extraordinary challenges? The answers depend on who you ask. But one thing almost everyone agreed on was this: Kody's latest comments changed the conversation. Instead of discussing only the past, fans were now wondering about the future. Could Kody and Robyn rebuild their relationship after years of emotional turmoil? Or would the scars left by the Brown family's breakup continue to affect their marriage for years to come? As Kody and Robyn continued speaking about the challenges inside their marriage, another conversation was growing louder among Sister Wives fans. It wasn't just about what Kody had admitted, it was about what everyone else in the Brown family was doing after moving on. For years, viewers watched the family struggle through disagreements, emotional distance, and painful conversations. But after Christine, Janelle, and Meri each chose a different path, fans began noticing something they couldn't stop talking about. Each of the former wives appeared to be building a brand new chapter. And whether that impression is completely accurate or not, it has shaped how many viewers interpret Kody and Robyn's story today. Christine Brown became the first wife to officially leave the marriage, and her decision marked a major turning point for the series. Since then, viewers have watched her embrace a different lifestyle, share moments with her children and grandchildren, and move forward into a new marriage with David Woolley. To many fans, Christine looked happier and more confident than she had in years. Her fresh start quickly became one of the most talked about storylines in the franchise. Then came Janelle. Unlike Christine, Janelle's journey focused heavily on independence. She spent time strengthening relationships with her children, pursuing personal goals, and creating a life that reflected her own priorities. Many viewers admired the way she approached this new chapter, saying she appeared more peaceful and self-assured. Then there was Meri. For years, fans debated whether Meri and Kody's relationship could ever recover. Eventually, both acknowledged that their marriage had come to an end. Since then, Meri has focused on her businesses, travel, friendships, and creating a future on her own terms. While every former wife has faced challenges, many fans believe they now appear to have greater freedom than they experienced during the final years of Plural marriage. Whether viewers agree with that assessment or not, it has become a common topic across social media. And that's where things become especially difficult for Kody and Robyn. Every time Christine shares a happy milestone, every time Janelle posts about family, every time Meri celebrates a new achievement, the internet immediately begins making comparisons. Comments appear asking the same questions. Who looks happier now? Did leaving improve their lives? What does this mean for Kody and Robyn? Those comparisons have become nearly impossible to avoid. Some fans believe the former wives are thriving because they finally chose a different path. Others argue that social media only shows carefully selected moments and doesn't reveal the full reality of anyone's life. Both perspectives continue to fuel debate. Meanwhile, Kody and Robyn remain under constant scrutiny. When they appear together, viewers analyze their body language. When they speak during interviews, fans examine every word. Even ordinary moments often become major discussion topics online. Supporters believe the couple deserves the opportunity to rebuild their lives without endless criticism. Critics argue that public interest is a natural consequence of years spent sharing their family story on television. Either way, the spotlight has never really faded. Another factor adding to the pressure is the emotional legacy left behind by the family's breakup. Several of the Brown children have publicly discussed the difficulties of growing up in such a large and highly visible family. Some have spoken about strained relationships, changing family dynamics, and the challenges of navigating life after the separation of their parents. Those conversations have reminded viewers that the story extends far beyond the marriages themselves. It is also about parents, children, siblings, and decades of shared history. For Kody, that reality may be one of the hardest parts to accept. Rebuilding a marriage is one challenge. Rebuilding trust across a family is something entirely different. Many fans believe that repairing those relationships could take years if it happens at all. And while Kody has acknowledged that the family's breakup has deeply affected him, some viewers continue to question whether he has fully accepted responsibility for the role he played in those events. That remains one of the biggest points of disagreement within the Sister Wives community. Some believe Kody has become more reflective and honest in recent interviews. Others feel his comments still focus too much on the pain he experienced rather than the experiences shared by the other members of the family. The discussion continues with every new episode. But perhaps the most surprising development is how opinions about Robyn have also become more divided. Some viewers see her as someone who has also experienced loss, arguing that she entered the family hoping to be part of a united plural marriage and instead watched that dream disappear. Others continue to believe she benefited from Kody's attention in ways the other wives did not, making it difficult for them to view her as simply another victim of the situation. Those competing viewpoints have kept Robyn at the center of countless online debates. And no matter what either Kody or Robyn says, public opinion remains deeply divided. Still, one thing has become impossible to ignore. Kody's recent confession has reopened conversations that many fans thought were already settled. Instead of focusing only on what happened in the past, viewers are now asking whether the future holds healing or even more heartbreak. And just when it seemed the story couldn't become any more emotional, another question began spreading across the fan community. Has Kody truly learned from everything that happened? As the conversation surrounding Kody Brown's latest confession continued to grow, one question rose above all the others. Has Kody truly learned from everything that happened, or is he simply looking at the past through a different lens? It's a question that has divided Sister Wives fans for years, and recent episodes have only reignited the debate. For much of the series, Kody often defended his decisions, explaining that he believed he was doing what was best for his family. But as the Brown family changed in dramatic ways, viewers began noticing moments where Kody appeared more willing to acknowledge that the emotional toll had been greater than he expected. That doesn't mean everyone believes he has taken full responsibility. Many fans argue that while Kody has admitted the family breakup deeply affected him, he has rarely gone as far as accepting every criticism made by Christine, Janelle, or Meri. Others, however, see a noticeable difference in the way he now talks about the past, believing he sounds more reflective than he did during earlier seasons. This difference in opinion has become one of the biggest reasons the show continues to generate so much discussion. Every interview, every confessional, every episode, fans listen carefully, searching for signs that Kody's perspective is changing. Some viewers believe they hear growth. Others believe they hear regret. And many think it's a combination of both. One thing Kody has made clear is that the collapse of the Plural family wasn't something he ever imagined would happen this way. For decades, the Brown family presented themselves as a unique example of plural marriage, often describing their lifestyle as a commitment built on faith, cooperation, and family unity. But over time, those ideals became increasingly difficult to maintain. The COVID-19 pandemic intensified disagreements over family rules, communication, and priorities. Those conflicts became major storylines on the show and exposed deeper issues that had already been developing for years. By the time Christine announced she was leaving, many fans felt the family had already reached a breaking point. Janelle's separation followed. Meri eventually confirmed that her marriage with Kody had also ended. In a relatively short period, the family structure that viewers had watched for nearly 2 decades changed forever. Now, Kody and Robyn are living a reality that once seemed almost impossible to imagine. Instead of leading a large plural family, they are navigating life as a married couple while carrying the emotional weight of everything that happened before. That transition hasn't been easy. According to comments shared on the show, both have acknowledged that healing takes time. Grief doesn't disappear overnight, neither does disappointment. And rebuilding trust, whether inside a marriage or across an extended family, is often a slow process. At the same time, the public spotlight has never faded. Every new season brings renewed attention. Every preview sparks speculation. Every headline leads to another round of debate online. For Kody and Robyn, this means that private emotional struggles often become public conversations almost immediately. Supporters argue that few marriages could thrive under that level of constant attention. Critics respond that reality television naturally invites public discussion because the family chose to share so much of their lives on camera. Both viewpoints continue to shape fan reactions. Another reason this story remains so compelling is that there are no easy answers. Was the family's collapse caused by years of unresolved conflict? Did changing priorities gradually pull everyone apart? Could different decisions have changed the outcome? Or was the separation inevitable after so many years of emotional strain? These questions have no single answer, and that's exactly why fans continue watching. Each member of the Brown family tells the story from a different perspective. Christine has spoken openly about wanting a relationship where she felt valued and loved. Janelle has emphasized independence, personal growth, and focusing on her children. Meri has described accepting that her marriage had reached its end and choosing to move forward. Kody has spoken about the pain of watching the family he envisioned fall apart. And Robyn has repeatedly said that losing the larger Plural family was never what she wanted. These perspectives don't always match. Sometimes they directly contradict one another, but together they form the complicated story that has kept Sister Wives audiences invested for so many years. Perhaps that's why Kody's recent confession resonated with so many people. It wasn't presented as a perfect ending. It wasn't a declaration that every problem had been solved. Instead, it was an acknowledgement that even after becoming a monogamous couple, he and Robyn still face challenges that require patience, communication, and effort. For some viewers, that honesty made him seem more relatable. For others, it raised even more questions about whether deeper issues remain unresolved. And as the season continues, fans are watching closely to see whether actions will match the words. Will Kody and Robyn emerge stronger from everything they've experienced? Can relationships within the larger Brown family continue to heal over time, or will old wounds continue to shape the future? Those answers have yet to be written. But one thing is certain, the Brown family story is far from over. After everything the Brown family has been through, one thing has become impossible to ignore. The story is no longer just about plural marriage. It's about what happens after decades of love, conflict, heartbreak, and life-changing decisions. When Sister Wives first premiered, viewers were introduced to a family that believed they had found a unique way to build a life together. Through the years, audiences watched weddings, births, graduations, family celebrations, difficult conversations, and painful disagreements. Many fans grew attached to the family because they weren't simply watching a television show, they were watching people grow older. Children became adults. Relationships evolved. Dreams changed. And over time, the Brown family transformed in ways few people could have predicted. Today, Kody Brown finds himself in a place that looks completely different from the future he once imagined. For years, he spoke about building one large family united under a shared vision. Now, that vision has changed dramatically. Instead of managing relationships with multiple wives, Kody's focus is on one marriage, his relationship with Robyn. But as his recent confession made clear, even that relationship hasn't escaped the emotional impact of everything the family has experienced. Admitting that a marriage requires work isn't unusual. Every relationship faces challenges. What made Kody's comments stand out was the timing. After years of public speculation that life would become easier once the Plural family ended, many viewers expected Kody and Robyn to finally settle into a quieter, happier chapter. Instead, Kody acknowledged that healing takes time. And for many fans, that honesty was unexpected. Whether people agreed with him or not, it showed that the emotional effects of the family's breakup are still very real. Robyn has also continued to express sadness over how the family changed. Throughout recent seasons, she has repeatedly said that the life she hoped for was one where all of the wives, children, and grandchildren remained connected. According to her, watching that dream disappear has been one of the hardest experiences of her life. Of course, not every viewer shares that perspective. Many fans continue to support Christine, Janelle, and Meri, believing their decisions to leave were necessary for their own happiness and well-being. Others believe every member of the family made mistakes and that the truth is far more complicated than choosing one side over another. That's one of the reasons Sister Wives continues to generate so much discussion. The story isn't black and white. It's filled with different viewpoints, different experiences, and different memories of the same events. As new episodes air, fans continue analyzing every conversation, every interview, and every emotional moment. Some believe Kody is beginning to reflect more honestly on the past. Others remain skeptical, saying real growth is demonstrated through consistent actions over time rather than a single confession. Only time will reveal how viewers interpret the next chapter. One thing that seems certain is that the Brown family's journey is still evolving. Christine has embraced a new marriage and a different future. Janelle continues building an independent life centered on her family and personal goals. Meri has focused on creating new opportunities and moving forward after accepting the end of her marriage. And Kody and Robyn are working to navigate a relationship that now carries the weight of everything that came before it. No matter where fans stand, the Brown family story has become one of the most talked about reality television journeys of the past decade. It has sparked conversations about marriage, communication, family dynamics, personal growth, forgiveness, and the challenges of living life in front of millions of viewers. Whether Kody and Robyn emerge stronger from this chapter remains to be seen. For now, their future is still being written, and that's exactly why audiences continue coming back. Every season brings new questions. Every interview reveals another piece of the puzzle. Every confession changes the conversation. Perhaps Kody's latest admission won't end the debate. In fact, it may have only begun a brand new one. Did he finally tell the truth about what his marriage with Robyn has become, or are there still important parts of the story that viewers haven't heard yet? Only future episodes and future conversations will provide those answers. Until then, one thing is certain. The Brown family's journey continues to surprise fans, and the next chapter could be even more dramatic than the last. So, what do you think? Do you believe Kody's confession shows genuine honesty and personal growth? Or do you think there's still much more left unsaid about what really happened behind closed doors? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Sister Wives news, exclusive updates, and in-depth breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.